Okay, let's get started. I'm Scott, an expert and body lingo analyst. I train law enforcement in the military on body lingo interrogation, and I created this true crime junkie workshop with this guy, Greg. Mark?
Hi, I'm Mark, 6 degrees of separation from Margaret Thatcher and 7 from Ronald Reagan. I'm an expert on human body language and a huge fan of the hero's journey. I help people all over the world stand up and get noticed every time they speak, including the leaders of some of my favourite countries. Chase?
Thanks, Mark. I'm Chase, a best-selling author of Body Lingo Revealed, and teach tactical analysts of and for YouTubers. Did 20 years in the military, and now I'm teaching intelligent people and the general public. Greg? Greg here. I'm a formal intelligent Army instructor and resistance trainer. I've written 11 books on body lingo and behavior. I put this true crime junkie workshop together with Scott. I spend some of my time at Wall Street and most of my time off-Broadway. I'm a big fan of the musical Mamma Mia. Before we get started, be sure to click the arrow button to subscribe so you know every time we upload a video. Then head to the description box for more great channel suggestions. Okay, well today is a little different. It's a follow-up on something we missed. Thanks to the panelists around the world who pointed out in the Alec Baldwin interview that we missed seeing the Hygge Girl. Video bombed that clip. Mark put this together, so Mark, do you mind giving us an intro?
Sure, so Hygge Girl is a small-time YouTuber who focuses on all things Hygge and Vermont, which I believe is a ski resort. She tackles controversial topics like Bernie Sanders' mittens and covered bridges. Apparently, she may have been stalking Alec Baldwin and his family when they were in Vermont.
Okay, to start things off, we're going to take a closer look at the Alec Baldwin clip. Then we're going to analyze the body language of the Hygge Girl as she's being interviewed. Here we go. Alright, as we go through this, keep in mind that the sound may be glitchy because there are some language issues that need to be edited out. Because this is a family show.
Hygge is not a trend, it's a lifestyle. We believe in candles and essential oils and scarves and knitting and snow. Hygge is a lifestyle, it is not a trend. Hygge. Alec Baldwin? Here in Vermont, we love Alec Baldwin. He once filmed a movie here in Chelsea, Vermont. You may have heard of it. Beetlejuice. It's the best movie ever. We're so proud of him filming here in Vermont. Vermont represent!
Greg, do you want to go first? Sure. So Hygge Girl has videos on YouTube which provides us with a great baseline. We see her break eye contact when she's recalling essential oils. If her eyes tracked to the lower right, I would think that essential oils were important to her, but she tracks to the left. Now that might be because she's having trouble remembering her list of Hygge items, or it might mean that she tends to keep them physically to her left and she's retrieving spatial data. That's because the mind works like a central processor and humans only have one processor. Then she starts talking about knitting, which is a clear micro-expression when she throws her head back and reveals her canines. This could indicate that she has some struggle with knitting, which I can relate to. There's also a lot of eyebrow raising going on, and she's looking directly at the camera seeking confirmation, as if she's trying to say, "Are you agreeing with me here?" At the end, she does a hand-to-heart thump, and her entire body's drop in syncs with the thump. This is a common gesture by overly dramatic teens, so we have to discount the significance. Chase, what do you got? This is a perfect time to review the Chase Hughes hierarchy of deceptive behavior. At the base of the pyramid, there is omission. We're all guilty of that. Then there are white lies, followed by classic straight-up lies, then whoppers, and at the pinnacle of the hierarchy is what is known as pants on fire. This is when the lies are so convoluted that there is nowhere to go but in circles. With that, what I'm seeing here is a lot of omissions. It doesn't mean she's climbed the pyramid into lying, but I'm going to need to take a closer look for other indicators of deception. To Greg's point, there's a solid gaze with no blinking in the beginning. She only breaks eye contact when she shifts her gaze to the left for recall. She widens her eye, which sends a signal that says, "Hey, nothing to hide here." So I think she is being truthful in that moment about her passion for Hygge. Let's take a closer look at her nose flares. This can indicate signs of aggression or suppressed aggression. I counted 4 to 5 nose flares. We need to keep an eye out for other data before we can conclude what these nose flares are hiding. There's just a hint of a clarinet hold at the end, which, as you know, is one of my areas of expertise. Her illustrators are doing something here that I've coined the marshaled illustrators. It's when someone switches between controlled and managed illustrators that are in sync versus uncontrolled, out of sync illustrators. Some people confuse that with code switching, but they're not at all related. Mark, what do you got?
Now, it's as if she's giving us spaghetti salad. She's just lobbing words, Hugo words, at us, trying to see what sticks. She starts leaning way back and then she moves forward as if she's falling through a door. Her limbs are locked and are really far from her equator. Now, she's raising her sign so very high, some might assume it's an ecstatic trophy gesture. But I posit that this is meant to trigger the brains of the millennials. Not the brains of the boomers or the Xers, but that of the millennials. They will associate that gesture with the Lion King and will be more prone to accept her argument, so be careful there. Her stress is really ramped up in the beginning. It might be a bit manufactured, but clearly it is important to her to stress that hygge is not a trend. Now, is hygge a trend? Yeah, probably. Now, ancient Greeks grouped people into 4 personality types. There's the sensitive artsy type like Scott, the quiet thinkers like Chase, the popular fun lovers, that would be me, and the impulsive and passionate type, obviously Greg. Of course, we all know that every individual is the exception to that rule, as Carl Jung would say, but then that might be what's happening here. Where does Hygge Girl fit in? She may be the exception. The fact that she brings up Beetlejuice might be a redirect, as Greg might say. She indicates that Beetlejuice is important because it's a Vermont film. But really, Beetlejuice is the universal story of man's fear of death and has nothing whatsoever to do with Vermont. That's my take. Scott?
Out of the gate, her emotions are all ramped up, and her cadence of speech is all over the place. Interestingly, she is a completely different person when she talks about Beetlejuice. That might be significant here. She leans in, nearly whispers, "Beetlejuice," in a conspiratorial tone. This could be normal in normal situations, appear to be a fading fact, but I think she's using this to draw the importance of the movie. Of course, it could be that she is hyper aware that she were to accidentally say Beetlejuice 3 times in a row, there could be mayhem, which is not hygge. We see so many micro-expressions with displays of pressure, and she is really feeling it here. Watch her head shrink. Normally that means one is protecting their throat, but I think she is channeling her character from Beetlejuice. And did you notice her evil blank stare? Actually, I made that up. I was hoping for a sociopath, but I got nothing. It looks like we have a typical teen trying to make it big on YouTube. Alright, we all good? Mm-hmm.
He once filmed a movie here in Chelsea, Vermont. You may have heard of it. Beetlejuice. It's the best movie ever. We're so proud of him filming here in Vermont. Vermont represents!
Alright, we all good?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. I'm here to spread the hygge cheer.
Alright, Greg, what do you got? At the beginning, she has what I call listening face. It's that look that teens give when they're acting like they're paying attention. Her denial is layered with a no, a head shake, and her hand in a stop position. Keep in mind that it doesn't mean that she's not being truthful, but I would want to go back and take a closer look. Then she does a physical manifestation of chaff and redirect. She twists her body away and looks in Alec Baldwin's direction. Our cat brains all want to follow her, and we rubberneck and follow her gaze. Chase, what do you got? Chase, you're on mute. So, that really illustrates the complexity of this. Then she does a subtle head bobbing to indicate the affirmative. That's a data point, but it's not necessarily that she is hiding any secrets. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Scott, this one really bugs me. Her eyebrows are flying all over the place and her blinking is out of sync with her eyebrow movements. There's the moment when she holds her hand and closes her eyes at the same time. This is a strong indicator of blocking out something that is unpleasant. This could mean that she doesn't like Alec Baldwin. When she holds her hands up, her fingers are bizarrely spread out. That could be because she's a violinist, or it could be when you meet a bear in the woods and you don't want to run and hide. You'll never outrun a bear, or at least I couldn't. No, what you want to do is you want to make yourself look bigger. So she's making her hands look bigger here. Mark?
For this one, I'm going to summon the Gilded Age Scandinavian folklore. You see how she dramatically thrusts her arms out as if she's a superhero projecting jets of ice from her palms? That reminds me of Elsa from Frozen. Now, the origin stories of that is not quite as cute as Disney makes them out to be. The original story was written by Hans Christian Andersen, who writes of the scorned woman who isolates herself in the Great North and rejects anyone who comes to her. The magical ability to morph people and things actually has an even earlier biblical reference from Lot's wife turning to stone. So having the ability to control people through magical powers is as old as time itself. That was the Beauty and the Beast reference of old French folktale. So, what I'm getting at from her is that she might want the interview to end.
Are we all good?
Yep.
Okay. What is the mission of your organization?
Well, we're really just here to, you know, spread the Hugo cheer, and we really want everybody to have a great holiday season.
Great, what do you got? She starts off by engaging her grief muscles, which makes me think that she's worried about something. But then she flashes her eyebrows to do approval seeking. But then she becomes a poster child for blocking. She uses her arm to create a sacred space, and her eye gazing is traveling all over the place as if she's watching Santa Claus across the sky. Now, she might not be the brightest bulb on the porch, but her nose is glowing red, just like Rudolph. Scott? This video is interesting because she's dropped her extra face, and I think here is the data that Chase may have been looking for that explains the nose flares we saw earlier in the video. And now we know why Alec Baldwin was wiping his nose. It's cold in Vermont. I think that we have to discount the nose data. So there's that. Oh, hold on a sec. Hey, Bootsy. Yeah, how's it going? She ends with a genuine smile, indicating that she sincerely wants everyone to enjoy the holiday. Chase, what do you got? This is a good example of what I like to call a crash test dummy is looking at me. As a reminder, CRASH is an acronym for confirmation, relief, approval, suggestion, and help. And when a dummy, human or otherwise, looks at you, it can be very unnerving. She is doing a confirmation glance while wiping her nose and is very convincing in that moment. So I think she really does wish everyone a really great holiday. Mark, what did the ancient Greeks have to say about the holidays?
This video is interesting because it's as if the veil has dropped to reveal the Hugo girl, the real one. In theatrical terms, it's as if she's removed her Phantom of the Opera mask and we see a true expression for the season. We don't have to look far into the culture to know that everyone always enjoys the holidays. Just give Charles Dickens a Christmas Carol read or watch A Christmas Story. So what I'm getting from her is that she really is just looking forward to the holidays.
Okay, so to wrap this up, if you like what we're doing, subscribe, go ahead and hit that notification bell down there by Mark. Videos are uploaded weekly, ideally. Alright, so we all good?
Yep.
That's another one in the can. I'll hope to see you next time.
Happy holidays.
Oh yeah, Johnny Cash and I were at breakfast and he starts talking about the last time he was at Sun Records and that Jerry Lee was just nuts back then. He was like, Jerry Lee goes on and on about how talented he is. All of us are in the room, and Elvis just had a hit record, and well, that's a different story. Carr was all pouty about how Elvis stole his song, Blue Suede Shoes. You ever heard of it? And me, well, the others didn't know at the time, but I had signed a contract and was about to leave.
Amazing, Scott. Did you just imitate Johnny Cash?